do that there. Okay, good. Okay, okay. Let's turn this on. Looks like we are on. We are on, and we are on the air. Hello there, Facebook. Hello there, YouTube. This is Ron from Ron Alcott Photography, and we are here at the virtual gallery show. Hi. Sorry, I'm trying to juggle screens all over the place at one time, and that's not working. But hopefully you all are on your way in here now. So I am going to get started. So what is this, and what are we doing here, and why am I babbling? Well, one thing, I lost half my lights. Wonder what happened with that. There he goes. My name, as I said, my name is Ron. I'm Ron Alcott from Ron Alcott Photography. I'm a photographer. I sell my photography on my site, ronalcottphotography.com. And I wanted to share with you in a little bit more depth some of the reasoning and thinking behind a couple of my pieces, show you what they actually look like printed out, although I don't have a good system for that yet. I don't like this lighting, and we'll have to improve it. But it's a first go, so bear with me. I'm going to do more of these. They will get better. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at two different pieces today. One of them is called The Aspiration of Art, and the second one is called Are We There Yet? And they both have stories behind them. So I'll let you know how I got there and what we're up to. But first of all, I wanted to let you know, just for attending, you get an extra special chance to win your choice of one of these prints. Okay? I don't know why that's not lined up right. Gee whiz. Let's move this over here and zoom him down. Boom, 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 boom. You think you have everything set, but you never do. Okay. If you go to ronalcottphotography.com/festival-giveaway-entry, but you have to enter it as all one big long line like I have underneath there. If you go there and put in your email, and this is true even if you're already on the email list, this is just for people who watch this video. Okay? So if you go there, then you will be entered to win your choice of either of these prints, either Aspiration of Art or Are We There Yet? Okay. Now what I currently am offering in the drawing is one of these prints on metallic fine art paper. If I get above 5 entries, I'm going to give you one of those on a 2-inch mat. And if we get above 15 entries, I'm going to give you the actual limited edition print that we're looking at today. And they range from $250 to $300 in terms of value. So there is a good chance you will win since nobody is here yet. So do go there, do sign up, and do take a look at what that can do for your life. Who knows? Maybe it'll be just the thing to cheer you up and get you through your stay-at-home period here with the pandemic. I don't know. But I do know that I hope everybody's having a great Friday night. You will have to pardon the gloves. I am handling actual fine art prints tonight. They are out of their cases, so I put on my gloves so I don't get finger oil on them. I have my beverage. This is iced tea on the rocks. So, won't you join me? A toast to Friday night. Welcome to my virtual gallery show. All right. All of that being said, as I told you, we're going to look at two pieces of art, so let's go ahead and look at the first one. Yep, not that, this. Okay, this first one, let's see if I can get my head shadow out of it. As I said, I didn't like the lighting here, but this is the best I could do on short notice. I actually worked all day at my engineering job today. So this one is called The Aspiration of Art. And it is a stairway. It's in the De Young Museum. For those of you who aren't familiar with the De Young Museum, it is in Golden Gate Park, and it contains the contemporary art and Native Peoples collection of the Institutes of Fine Art. It's a marvelous museum, okay? But when you come in from the parking lot, where I like to duck because nobody knows how to get there, you come in at the very bottom level, and there's a coat check, and so you aren't really in any of the art. There's one of the galleries down there. But you can either take the elevator up, or you can climb these stairs. And these stairs will lead you up onto the main level where the reception desk is. And most of the galleries are up on the second level. But I just really liked the way that these stairs provided a nice leading line up to where the art actually is. Those are glass walls that you see on the left-hand side there. I hope it's left on your side. That side over there. Those are glass walls, and there's a very nice little park, I guess, between two parts of the De Young Museum. You can't get in it, but you see it from many points in the museum. It's a very enjoyable walk, but why did I take the picture? Well, there's a couple reasons. One, it expresses for me some of my self-doubt over knowing what is and what isn't art. I'm very, very new to this. So sometimes I don't trust my instincts. This one I could trust a little bit. It has several of the techniques that you learn in composition, the leading lines, the whole idea of the line bringing you forward and up and into the adventure that lies ahead for you. And so that's sort of where the title comes from a little bit. That my art is somewhat aspirational. I don't always set out to be artistic. I set out to show you what I see in the world around me. And I'm learning that the way I see things may not be the way other people see things. And the thing that we call that other vision is art. So I guess I am an artist. I am a photographer. So this one is a bit aspirational. I really liked the composition. I really liked how everything was framed. with the walls to the outside world down the left-hand side, the long, very shallow steps that go basically the full length of the building to get up to the main level. Okay. And then the handrail with the bottom of the floor down along this side here. I thought it just framed the whole thing nicely and provided a beautiful curve to draw you into the art a little bit more. But since there's nobody here, and I'm talking to myself, I can't answer any questions, which is a shame. I'm going to ask myself a question. I'm going to say, Ron, how come you were at the young? Well, as it turns out, if anybody hasn't figured it out yet, ergo wanderlust is my alter ego. As it turns out, I was actually in the De Young Museum on a date. But it's someplace that I've been to a lot. I really enjoy there. I go there 4 or 5 times a year. And this particular weekend, we were there because it was free admission. So if you're a resident of one of the 6 Bay Area counties and the museum is open, which it isn't now, there are certain, I believe, Saturdays. There's one Saturday every month or every other month that residents get in free. So I thought I was being all generous and going on a date and showing this fine lady how artful I was, and turned out to be free. So, oh well. So much for impressing people. But as I said, I go to the De Young quite a bit. I go there 4 or 5 times a year. It's rare that I go 2 months. Of course, with the current lockdown situation, it's been more than 2 months. But I totally enjoy it there. So we'll move that one out of the way. And we will move the other piece up in. I'll try to get these to stay somewhat straight on the easel. Let's see how well I did. Yeah, he's not too bad. I can pull him that way a little bit, get him more centered. Okay. But you do see the easel up behind him. And then this one isn't as tall, so I'll drop that just a little bit so you can see the whole print. There we go. Now we've got the center focus. This is print number 2. It is called Are We There Yet? And there's quite a story behind this one. This was taken while I was in Europe. And hi, Janine. I see that Janine is having problems getting in. So I will let her know that all is not lost. It will be posted. All right. But let me go over here and get back where I can see live comments. But anyway, the story behind this piece. This was taken in, I can never quite remember the name of it, Krems am Wien. One of the reasons that I went to Europe, one of my objectives in going to Europe, was to take a cruise on the, or Krems am Donau, take a cruise on the Danube River. Okay. Because the Danube River has always been special. Uh, Part of it was I grew up playing classical piano. I'm not saying well, I'm just saying I played it. And while I was doing that, we of course learned the Blue Danube Waltz. So that was important to me. And sometime about when I got into college, I started seeing ads for Viking cruises. Man, if you're anything like me, you have seen ads for Viking cruises. And I always wanted to take one. I was going to Europe by myself, so that didn't sound like fun. I've never been much of a cruise person. I'm a bit of a loner, so being tied into cruises. But I did want to get onto the Danube River. So I made plans, even before I left the United States, to take a boat trip down the Danube River. And I have some other pictures of the boat trip. And the morning came, and I was supposed to go, while I was in Vienna, I was supposed to go down to this dock, be there at 9 o'clock in the morning to meet the boat. And so I called an Uber at 8. I forgot that I was a tourist. I was only in the tourist parts of town, and traffic was never that bad there. But to get to where the Danube was, I had to go all the way across the business district in the middle of rush hour. Suffice it to say, I did not make my boat. This is a case where I literally missed the boat. I believe I saw it pulling away as I was getting out of my Uber. So I poked around down there a little bit, feeling sorry for myself, feeling like this was one of my big reasons for even being on this trip. And here I had sort of ruined my whole exposure to it. I'm actually moving this a little bit, so don't be freaked out. It's not an earthquake. And I had ruined it, a little bit by missing the boat. But I decided I was going to be ingenious, so I looked up, and I couldn't take the full-day cruise anymore, but I found a half-day cruise, a 4-hour cruise on the Danube in the historic Wachau Valley. I'd never heard of that, but hey, it sounded good, and it was a boat trip. Now, I've written on Facebook and Instagram before about my feelings about taking a boat trip when I get to a city. It is one of the things that I like to do. It's very grounding. It's very settling for me and helps me get my bearings. So I found this other boat trip. I said, oh, good, great. And I booked it, and I tapped into my phone, and I spent my money. And then I said, good, where's the dock I have to go to get this boat? Well, it turns out the dock I had to go to was not in Vienna at all. It was in Krems-on-Donau, which was an hour away by train. And would it be leaving from the train station that was very near the dock that I was on? Well, of course not. It was a train station back on the other side of town again. So I scrambled. I managed to get an Uber. I managed to get to the train. I managed to get a train that would get me there on time. But trains very seldom go along with rivers because rivers flood. So you don't like to have floods and trains going together. So this train let me off in the middle of town. It's a beautiful, beautiful town in Austria. But I popped up my Google Maps. Google Maps works wonders. I popped up my Google Maps and said, where is this pier I have to get to? And it says, oh, it's just a 40-minute walk. Well, at this point, I had about an hour and 10 minutes. I had maybe 30 minutes to spare. But it led me off and through this park and down around another park and then down along this right-of-way that you see. I was actually walking down this path here, which was along the commuter rail lines. And down through a trailer park and down into a marina and finally down onto a pier where I finally got my ticket, and I did finally end up getting the 4-hour cruise on the Danube River in the historic Wachau Valley. And it turns out the Wachau Valley is very, very famous for its wines. If you've ever had a German Riesling or a Gewürztraminer, both of those grapes, the vast majority of those, the grapes used in that production, are grown in the Wachau Valley. And all of these really steep hills are all terraced and have centuries-old grapevines on them. And at the top of every single one of those hills was a huge monastery, because the monks are the people who made the wine. So it turned out to be a very, very interesting trip. I never had time to get off the boat and explore any of the little towns that we pulled into along the way. But it was just as well. It was the only day of my entire 3 weeks in Europe that there was any bad weather at all. So I just stayed on the boat, and they had table service, and for the vast majority of the trip, there were no more than 4 other people on this boat that was built to hold about 1,000. So I just sat and took pictures out the window and rode on my boat and watched the world go by in its rain. It was really interesting. The river was very, very high, and it was moving very swiftly. You would see a lot of debris coming down off the mountains. This was in early September, so it had been dry all summer, so everything was getting washed down. And I saw the Danube River, not at its most tranquil, but I did see the Danube River. And that really turned out to be a highlight. I was really, really glad that I did that. And because of the weather, my pictures aren't that great. I wish I had better pictures, but it gives me an excuse to go back. So where are we? What have we done? Well, we looked at that first picture, the Aspiration art, from the De Young Museum, which is the tall one with the staircase and the glass terrarium, if you will. And we've looked at this picture called Are We There Yet? They're both great examples of leading lines, kind of want to draw you off into the future. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to start off with these two. I don't know about you, but for me, it's been hard. I am single. I am here working a full-time job, stuck in my house pretty much full-time. I go out for groceries and not much else. But I like these pictures because they pull me forward. They let me know that where I am is not the end of what's going to be. There's more ahead of me. There's more ahead of you. And it lets me feel like I'm going to take off down that path. just as soon as they let me go. Well, that's really all that I had to share about those two prints. Remember that you have the opportunity to go here, Ron Alcott Photography, Festival Giveaway Entry, all big, one big long word. Yeah, I don't know what the heck happened here. But all one big long word, as you see at the bottom here. But it's ronalcottphotography.com/festival giveaway entry. I need to have at least 2 people enter. I really, really, really do. But if I get 2 people, one of them is going to get their choice of one of those prints. Now, it's not the limited edition, it's these smaller sized prints that I have here. Okay, so it's one of these smaller sized prints, and it's on metallic photo paper. Everything is shiny here because it's still in its plastic sleeve. But so you can either get, are we there yet? Okay. Or you can get the Aspiration of Art. Okay. So these are the 2 actual prints that I would be giving away. So again, I need 2 people to enter at that address that I had up, ronalcottphotography.com, festival-giveaway-entry. And yes, I'm reusing a landing page. But if you go in there, you have until Sunday night. I'm going to cut it off Sunday night. I will know the people who have entered. This is one where even if you are on my mailing list already, you need to enter again. I need to know that you watched the video. So enter again, and then you will be in the entry. As long as I get 2 entries, then we will give it away. If we don't get 2 entries, I'm going to be doing this every Friday for a little bit. We'll see how it works, see if we can build an audience. And if we do, then I will, so if we don't give them away this week because of insufficient entries, they will go into the hopper, and next week's entrants will have their choice of any of the 4 prints that I do. So that's where we're at with that. Enter the drawing. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. It's at Wanderlust Gallery on Instagram. It's at Wanderlust Gallery Fine Art on Facebook. If you search for Ron Alcott on either one of those, you should find those business pages. And it's Alcott, O-L-C-O-T-T. I have to remember I'm a little bit different than that. Remember, I've got a regular monthly giveaway going on. If I already have your email, you're already entered in that. No need to enter that one again. If I don't, be sure you sign up for that while you're at the site. And reminder that Sunday mornings, 8 o'clock Pacific time, 11 o'clock Eastern time, I am live in my backyard. Not as fenced up, dressy neat as this, and I usually don't wear gloves. But I am live in my backyard, enjoying some coffee, sharing 4 or 5 new pieces every week that I'm adding to the site because I'm building up my image inventory. And I also do photography tips how to make your photography better. Even if you're not using fancy SLR detachable lens cameras, if you got a little point and shoot or even a smartphone, you can take better pictures. You take better pictures than what you're taking now. Unless you're already doing what I do, in which case, maybe not. Maybe you're already taking better pictures. Who knows? And then the final thing that I do is I do talk a little bit about the gear that I actually use for my photography, what I like about it, what features I'm discovering, because I'm still learning. That's part of being an artist, is learning all the time. So that's going to be it for today. We looked at the two prints. I told you marvelous stories about them. Please join me Sunday mornings, or at least on the replays of Sunday mornings. And I look forward to seeing you then. So long.